Hey there, I'm Aidan, and I'm learning to race with a sim setup, stretching my limited skill to the limits of an urban ring, which is a track I barely know. And today I'm going to be taking out the Hiroshi Sunburst for the best hot lap I could achieve. I hope you enjoy. Alright, so, I just got my sim wheel and pedals a week ago, and as you may have guessed by the date this video was made, yes, it was a Christmas present. Now, I've been struggling this first week to get to grips with the force feedback, and my pedal control is something to be desired, but I reckon I finally have something to actually show for it in forms of my first proper hot lap. Unfortunately, in this run, I did have a little spin towards the end, but it was the best I could do. And better yet, I'll be able to look back on this and say, hey, look, I was really shit at this. And fingers crossed I get better in the future. Anyway, I chose the Hiroshi Sunburst not only for its amazing handling, but it's equipped with a sequential shifter, which massively helps someone like myself trying to drive with a clutch for the first time. So, let's get into the lap and see how I managed. Alright, so getting into the first lap here. Definitely not amazing around that first corner, but I'm much more comfortable going into these corners, although by me looking up at tyres there, might suggest otherwise. I'm pretty happy flying down here nearly full out, and for the most part getting around these corners isn't too tricky for me, but I will say I have had much better runs through here in comparison to this one, but as you know, this is the best lap I could achieve without actually crashing, taking terminal damage. So you can see coming flying around here, I believe in third gear, which is quite low. I should have been in fourth. And coming through here much slower than I could have done. But this is about my 10th attempt, and I'll tell you what, I was tired. I did not want to fuck this one up. So now coming up here, I want to just floor it. Go max chat through here. No need to worry, I did come off the throttle a little bit there, just to make sure I don't go off into the wall, because I'll tell you what, at this point, I didn't want to restart. And from here to the next few corners, it's flat out. No worries, no braking, no nothing, just flat out, keep your eye on the road. Coming up to here, I drop down to 5th, trying to lose a little bit of that speed before the braking zone here. I'm braking a little bit early, but dropping right down to 3rd, just where I need to be to take this corner. And if you ask me, I'm pretty happy with the entrance and exit to that corner, although I could have been a little bit faster, but it's okay. Obviously, we're still learning here. You can see coming absolutely flying down here, and up comes the kind of scary corner where you're meant to try and cut across the curb. You can see here I just missed it, but probably a good thing honestly, because the amount of times I had spun out on that corner that day, well, it's pretty insane. Now coming through here in 3rd, you can hear I keep the revs pretty low, but preferably I like that because it means I'm not going to spit out so easily. Now flying up here, coming up to this long corner, drop down a gear, and there you go, fly straight around it, no issues. Here gets a bit freaky, lock up the brakes a bit, but drop it down to 3rd and off I go again. Perfectly fine, and here comes this weird little tight corner. I don't really know this corner all that well still, but I know to go slow for it, so that's about all I need. Now coming through here, I have had runs where I can flat out just max throttle through here, but I thought I'd play it safe, hop off the accelerator a bit. And going around these corners, you could probably go max out on these, but I really don't know the limits just yet. And coming into here, I do not know when to brake for this corner, so I like to take it early and slow. Just make sure I don't go spinning out. Losing the back end a bit there, but got it back. And coming up to this corner, gonna go real slow around this because of the amount of times I crashed on this that day. Now coming up here, no problem through there. A little bit slow, but that's to be expected. I mean, from about here, I don't know the track massively well. I know for the most part this is just straight. Well, I say straight, there are turns, but you can go flat out, except for here. This is a scary little corner. I don't like it, but you've got to do it, otherwise you're not going to make it around for track. Now flying up here, I believe you can go full throttle pretty much the whole way. Unless I'm forgetting there's a tiny little braking zone to drop a gear here, but it doesn't seem to be. I'm flying around these corners, you can see I'm really trying hard to cut it close to the edge. Try and shave myself as much time as I can. Although, in the long run, let's be honest, it's not actually that useful for me just yet, because I mean, it's not the best run in the world, but that's okay. Now flying through there, dropped a gear, just up here. There you go. And I actually braked for that, probably didn't need to, could have gone max out on that. And here, I still don't know this corner that well. I like to brake early, and I usually cut him way too close to the curb, as you can see, I'm going up and right it. But exit, no problem, get out, get accelerating, and come into the first carousel here, which this is the best time I've had on the carousel ever. Perfect exit on this, I was so happy with that. Now flying out of this corner. We're coming up to the kind of weird corners here, which I still don't quite know how to take at speed. They do freak me out a bit, and the amount of times I've just gone straight on because I forget to actually brake here is mental. But as you can see, perfectly fine. This corner here, I still don't know how to enter it. I always go wide, and I can't figure out why. So practice makes perfect. We'll see if I can improve that in the future. And as you can see, going really slow through here, trying to go fast, but I just don't overtrack that well at this point. I believe, from my knowledge, we're in Sector 2, but I don't quite be on that. I don't actually quite know. And locking up the brakes again to go down here. Trying to absolutely floor it, you can hear here. Yep, lock up the brakes and spin. What can you do? I've got to try and learn to be a little bit softer on the braking in BeamNG, and just try not to get those tyres to lock up, because otherwise they cause this. They cause me to spin, and they ruin a lap time. Now, I just said bugger it. I said, look, I'm going to keep on going. I don't want to restart. So, as you can see, going to proceed with caution here, taking this corner really slow. But exiting pretty well into the next apex there. Now, you can go pretty much max chat along here, up until the corner, of course, where you're going to need to brake. Get a bit of air time with the braking. So, no real wheel lock up there. It was mainly just because of the air I got. You can see going really careful and slow around these corners, because this is the sector I don't really know. These corners are a little bit scary to me, as they kind of come out of nowhere. And you'll see here that I actually, when I was driving, I felt the car just losing it. I was like, yeah, bugger that, we're not going to turn in for that corner. So I cut across the grass, which, let's just say instead of spinning, that may be cut off the time of the spin. Alright, we'll say that for now. Isn't exactly legal, out of track bounds, but it's okay. It's not going to be perfect. Now, I absolutely buggered that. That was just awful. Flew out of the way too early because I went too fast. As you can see here, taking it nice and slow into this corner, even though I could definitely go a hell of a lot faster. And then flying around these corners, going into the straight. And this was the home run. At this point, I was like, right, we're nearly there. Happy days. And I let go of the steering wheel, which scares the absolute shit out of me. I thought I was going to crash there, and I was going to cry if I did, because this is the closest I had gotten all day to actually finishing a good lap. Or at least I say good lap. It's not really that good, but you get the point. Now flying up here past the tourist entrance. Coming into these first long corners. Now this is the first time I had actually just kind of sent these as hard as I could. I did not slow down because I was kind of stressing out, like thinking, oh, don't fuck this up now. And you can see here I start braking quite late in comparison to what I normally do, which it's definitely slow, don't get me wrong, but that was very fast for me. As you can see, coming around the last corner, into the exit, and happy days. We got our time. So, that there, ladies and gents, was the best hot lap I've managed so far in this monster of a car. Achieving a time of 7:34.6 with a rolling start. I absolutely cannot wait to get practicing more and chop seconds off that time as I develop my skill set driving using the Logitech G923 over the year 2022. Thank you so much for watching, especially if you managed to make it this far through the video. And keep an eye out for the next progress video, as I'll try and update this series at least twice a month. Anyway, that's it from me now. I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.